Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential equation. So we have 3 to the power of x equals 5 to the power of 2x. And what we're first going to do is we're going to simplify this right-hand side of it. We have 5 to the power of 2x. And if you guys already didn't know, an important property of exponents is that if we have a to the power of b times c, this can be written as a to the power of b to the power of c, and also vice versa. It could also be written as a to the power of c to the power of b. So what we're going to write this as is, well, let's first write our 3 to the power of x, and this equals 5 to the power of 2 to the power of x. Now, 5 to the power of 2, as we all know, is 25, right? So this is 3 to the power of x equals 25 to the power of x. Now what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 25 to the power of x on both sides. So we're going to divide this by 25 to the power of x. And remember, what we do on one side, we do on the other side. So we're going to divide this side by 25 to the power of x. So now we have 3 to the power of x over 25 to the power of x equals 25 over x over 25 to the power of x. And remember, anything divided by itself equals 1. So these two cancel out, and this just equals 3 to the power of x over 25 to the power of x equals 1. Now, whenever we have something like this, and we have our numerator going to the power of an exponent and our denominator going to the power of the same exponent, we can rewrite this as 3 over 25 to the power of x equals 1. Because the x, it just multiplies with all our numbers here. So this is equal to this. And now what we want to do is we want to make our bases the same. So another way to write 1 is 3 over 25 to the power of 0. And that way, both our bases would be the same. So this is equal to 3 over 25 to the power of x equals 3 over 25 to the power of 0. Because remember, this is equal to 1, and now we changed both of the terms so that they have the same bases. And now, because both of these terms have the same bases, we know that their exponents are equal to each other, because if they weren't, then this would be false. So now we could just ignore these two bases and set these exponents equal to each other. So x is equal to 0. And this is actually our answer, because we can't simplify this anymore. This is our answer. X is equal to 0. Now, why don't we plug this in and check? We have 3 to the power of 0 equals 5 to the power of 2 times 0. 3 to the power of 0 is 1, and this equals 5 to the power of 2 times 0 is 1. 2 times 0 is 0, and 5 to the power of 0 is 1. So this is 1 equals 1. So this is right, meaning our answer is x equals 0. Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential equation. So we have x to the power of 3 minus x squared equals 100. Now, what we're first going to do is, as you can see, both of these terms have x in them, right? So the best thing to do is to factor out x with the highest degree, which in this case is 2. So we're going to factor out x squared. And that would help us simplify our equation by a lot. So if we factor out x squared, x to the power of 3 divided by x squared, well, that's x to the power of 3 minus 2, which is x, because x to the power of 1 is x, minus x squared divided by x squared is simply 1. So we have x squared times x minus 1, and this equals 100 still. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change 100 into 25 times 4. 100 is equal to 25 times 4. And this is still equal to x squared times x minus 1. Now this gives us two equations. We would have x squared equals 25 and x minus 1 equals 4. Well, for x squared equals 25, if we do the square root on both sides, we would get, well, the square root of x squared is simply x equals, the square root of 25 is positive or negative 5. So as you can see, this is one solution, and x minus 1 equals 4. Well, we would add 1 on both sides, and if we do that, we get x, these two cancel out, equals 4 plus 1 is 5. However, as you can see, 5 is already one of our solutions, so this is just unnecessary. We already have this as a solution. So we have x equals 5 and negative 5. Now, why don't we plug these two into our equation and see if they are right? Let's first start with 5. So we would have 5 to the power of 3 minus 5 squared equals 100. Now, this would equal, well, 5 to the power of 3 is 125, and minus 5 squared is 25, and 125 minus 25 is 100. So 100 equals 100, and this is right, so 5 is a solution. Now, why don't we plug in negative 5? Plugging in negative 5, we would get negative 5 in parentheses to the power of 3 minus negative 5 to the power of 2 equals 100. Now, negative 5 to the power of 3, well, a negative to the power of an odd number is still going to be negative, and 5 to the power of 3 is 125. So this would be negative 125 minus negative 5 squared is 25, and negative 125 minus 25, well, that's negative 150. And that is not equal to 100, so this is rejected. And 5 is our only correct answer.